Now for the show that's truly too hot to handle. It's The Melting Pat, and it starts right now.
You're listening to The Melting Pat. Here's your host, Pat Johnson.
Well, thank you, Jerome. Hello, my friends, and welcome to the show, The Melting Pat, the Next Level Network. It's the most wonderful time of the year. I've started off way wrong on that one. This is my favorite show. Is that better? Did I make up for it? I don't know. I started off too low, and my voice only goes to a certain spot. Anyway, happy holidays, my friends. We're not redoing it because that's fun. Oh, man, that was fun. Sorry I coughed in there. It's all good. That was fun. We had fun, right? Did we have a good time with that? Happy holidays. Welcome to my favorite episode of the year. I love it. I get to play festive tunes. I get to tell my favorite retail story. We will talk about our favorite Christmas traditions. We will talk about a festival in a Peruvian village that happens every Christmas that has intrigued me since I first saw it. And I think I talked about it on the show before. If I did, that's fine because it's an annual thing. If I didn't, I'm going to talk more. I'm going to talk about it soon. All right? Anything else? Probably throw some stuff in there as well. But how are you? How's it going? How are your how the planning's goings? And how are you holding up? You okay? Holidays can be tough. We'll talk about that at the end of the show. And how we can all stick it out together. Like we did at Thanksgiving, we can all stick it out together. We will talk about that later. But I want to begin today, as I used to begin almost every episode of my live show, with a retail story. I want to tell you we're getting right into it. I want to tell you my favorite retail story. I didn't say it's the best one. Somebody got confused a couple years ago and said, oh, this story was better. Actually, a couple people said, this is not the best story that I have, which is probably true. Probably it's objectively true that the story of either the lady who said her husband was going to beat me up or the lady who was scared that I closed one half of the door and that I was going to lock her in, those might be better stories. But this, I think because it was from my first holiday season at the store, this is my favorite story. So we are going back to December 2010, and I can tell you for sure it was a Thursday because the boss was off. So it was me and my friend Amy, the supervisor, and it was early in the day. The store hadn't been open that long. Nobody really around. We had a couple things to do, and I think there was a shipment coming in for the afternoon, so we had to worry about that and then do the, various maintenance things around the store, cleaning up the cards and doing all the things that we have to do. So we're sitting there, we're behind the counter, and there are 3 registers. When you walk in the door, the left-hand side, that store's closed now, but when you walk in the door, left-hand side, there are 3 registers. And so Amy's at the far, as you come in, Amy was at the far register. I'm in the middle going over the list from the boss. We both are. And then there's nobody at the first register because only 2 of us. So we're going over the list from the boss and like, okay, by the way, shipment coming in and just handle this, this, and this and replace this and do all that, right? So we have our tasks for the morning that we got to handle in addition to whatever, handle whoever comes in the store. So this woman comes in, this short, older woman comes in, and I say, hey, good morning, how are you? Because I like to greet every customer. And she doesn't say anything, which is not uncommon. And it's just, some people just, they have a question. They want to get the question out before they forget, and they don't want to talk. They just ignore us. And that's fine. I was not mad. And so she plops her purse down on the first register, in front of the first register at the counter. And I'm looking at this woman, and Amy's got her list in her hand. And I'm looking at this woman digging through. She just puts down her purse and is digging through it, just rifling through, looking for something. And I'm mesmerized by this because I had never seen somebody come into a store and not say a word and just dig through their stuff with such fervor. I've never seen it like that. So she's digging through, and she pulls out a small light bulb, like one that you would put either in a strand in your house inside or like on your Christmas tree. So it was like it wasn't a huge like outdoor bulb, but it wasn't a tiny skinny bulb either. It was like in between that, like a smaller bulb. So she pulls it out and holds it up. Well, first she like pulls it out and like shows it to me. And I'm like mesmerized again still. So she's like, oh, do you carry this? Or she said something. And I was like, I'm sorry, what was that? She's like, oh, you carry this? And I look at it and she's holding it up like she's trying to offer it to Jesus or something. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? And Amy picks up on it that I was, for some reason, in a goddamn trance. And she goes, oh, no, we don't carry those lights. I'm sorry. Maybe you could try Lowe's or Home Depot. And I realized in our brief interaction that English may not have been this woman's first language. Like the way that she asked her question, like she phrased her question, and then she was kind of confused when Amy was explaining to her that we don't carry the light bulbs. And then as soon as she said Home Depot, the woman, like something clicked in this woman's brain, and she got mad. Like I could see her getting angry, but first she was confused. And you know how when a dog hears a sound for the first time and they tilt their head like, right? She didn't make the noise, but she kind of tilted her head like, what are you saying to me? And then she goes in like clear as day, Home Depot. Ah. And she did make that. She made like an angry grunt. She didn't do the Scooby-Doo, but she did make an angry grunt noise. And so she gathers up all her stuff and shoves it all back into her purse and leaves. And I never saw her again. Never saw her before. Haven't seen her since. But the fact that she, like, for some reason, the words, like she was the Winter Soldier being awoken, right? That something clicked in her brain when Home Depot was uttered in her presence. She got so angry and decided that this interaction with us was over, that we could no longer help her. And for years, I've wondered what happened. What could she, like, had she already gone to Home Depot and they were very curt and very rude with her and they told her to go to one of those other stores. We'll work around that. And then she came to our store and we told her to go back there. And so she was mad. Did she maybe used to work at Home Depot and she got fired? Right? Maybe that's a thing. Did someone accuse her of stealing from Home Depot and they don't let her go back to Home Depot? Did she order something from Home Depot and they screwed her on delivery or on price? Or they said, hey, we have it. And she went to pick it up and they didn't have it. And so she put a hex on Home Depot. And now anyone who mentions Home Depot is all of a sudden is on her bad list. Right? Maybe that was it. I don't know. Never saw her again. Didn't get a chance to ask her because she hey, we don't carry that. Which really at the store that we were working at, we should have carried those. Like it would have made sense. We sold all kind of other decorations and tchotchkes and knickknacks and whatnot. So carrying light bulbs or carrying other kind of light up decorations and things like that would have made sense, but we did not. And, Amy was Amy didn't laugh this off. Like she didn't go, oh, no, we don't carry that, you idiot. No, she was very sincere. Like, nope, we don't. Sorry. Maybe you could try Lowe's or Home Depot. I think she mentioned another store. But as soon as Amy said Home Depot, the woman nope, can't do that. Home Depot is not good. Not good. You can't say that to me. How dare you? And we don't know the story, but man, that woman went from, hopeful and then confused and then in an instant furious with us. Like if she could have put a hex on us too, I think she would have. And it was just so, man, she just grabbed her stuff, left in a huff, and Amy and I just stared at each other like, what just happened? What, you were not. And she's like, was I like brushing her off? And I said, no, you were answering her sincerely. And as soon as you said Home Depot, she became enraged. And I don't know, I don't know, man. I feel like she maybe, the ultimate would have been if she just threw the light bulb at us or threw it in the trash and forget this. I'm done looking for this light bulb. I don't care. And that would have been very funny. So I just, man, I wish I knew. I wish I knew the answer. I wish I knew what she had gone through to make the mere mention of Home Depot set her off. That's what I want to know. I've never seen her before. Like I said, didn't see her before. Never saw her since. So I wasn't able to ask her. She didn't come in next year or come in 2 weeks later and say, hey, I found it, you morons. And I was just I wish I knew. I wanted to know what happened to her. And I hope wherever she is, whatever she did, I hope she found what she needed. We're going back, 15 years almost, 14. So hopefully she is still around and still having fun and still enjoying her holiday gatherings with all of her lights lit and none of them burned out. And I hope she has so light bulb lady, wherever you might be, I hope you're having a lovely season and you're doing it in whichever way brings you the most happiness and joy. So thank you for giving me a story to tell on 2 different platforms for the last 14 years. Unwittingly, but still, thank you very much. I love that story. Like I said, some people think there are better stories out there that I've told, but that will always be my favorite because it was my first holiday season. I had never seen anything like that, and it just has stuck with me for so long, and I love getting to tell it every year. So there you go. That is how we kick off our holiday show, and we are going to, I always feel like I have to kind of ease back in, and so that's why we don't play a more upbeat song after the first story, because that lady was really angry, and I figure, hey, let's play a softer song and calm everybody down, and then we will come back, and we will talk about our favorite holiday traditions. So here is a tune from our friends, The Wild and Free. This song is called When the Year Ends. Happy holidays. We'll be right back.
What have I done? Why do I have nothing to show again? Holiday fun isn't so fun when you're alone again. Snow in my lungs, but there is warmth deep inside. I'll be happy when the year ends. I'll be happy when the year ends. Another chance to start again. I'll be happy when the year ends. Another chance to start again. I'll give it time. I guess it's not a lot to ask for, but I won't lie. My merry spirit's running dry. Unwrap my heart, you'll find warmth deep inside. I'll be happy when the year ends. I'll be happy when the year ends. Another chance to start again. I'll be happy when the year ends. Another chance to start again. You take, I guess I'll take another shot at therapy. What more can this year take? I guess I'll take another present from the tree. What more can this year take? I guess I'll take another shot at therapy. What more can this year take? I guess I'll take another present from the tree. To start again.
When the year ends, the wild and free, the melting pat. Happy holidays. We are back. Thank you, my friends. And thank you, Lightbulb Lady, for letting me tell it. Well, not letting me, but for unknowingly letting me tell that story for 14 years now. Oh, man. Good stuff. Thank you. And the Wild and Free, thank you. Come back soon. Make more music soon so we can play some stuff. Because I think they've all been doing other stuff, and now hopefully they can come back around and we can share more sweet tunes. But until then, holiday things are just fine. So I asked you for this week. I know usually I've done several holiday questions. We've had a lot of success with holiday TV, music things, holiday movies, holiday whatevers. So So this year I went with, once again, favorite holiday traditions. I know I said Christmas a few times, and maybe I still will later, because I default to Christmas, so that's just how it goes. So maybe I made a lot of people mad this year, because we didn't get a ton of answers, but that's okay. That's okay. You know what? A tradition for this show, not just the holiday one, is that oftentimes people just won't answer the questions. Maybe they don't have an answer. Maybe they don't want to talk to me. They don't want to hear me read things, and that's fine. I'm not mad. I'm not even disappointed, because it means less work for me. So thank you, everyone, for ignoring me this year. And yeah, we'll talk soon, I hope. Or we'll never talk again, and that's fine. So our friend MAG said, sorry, but I'm a tradition is peer pressure from dead people kind of guy. It's just not worth doing, in my opinion. You know what? Man? That's fair. That's fair. I've said many times on this show, in regards to many different things, that if your only reason for continuing to do something or go somewhere or hold an event or whatever is we've always done it this way. Like, oh, we go to church this time because we just go to church on Sundays, whatever, even though you get no fulfillment from it, right? You're doing it just because you feel like you have to. Or we go to this person's house for Christmas or 4th of July or whatever because we've always done it this way, even though I don't like going over there because then that weirdo comes over, or maybe the host is, he's actually kind of a jerk, or you just don't like going over there. It makes you feel uncomfortable in any way, any shape or form, or you just don't like the idea of doing a thing anymore, right? So if the only reason is that you used to do this, or like we've always done it this way, that's not a good reason to continue doing something. And so I can get with that. Traditions are peer pressure from dead people. That's true. That's true. Yeah, we did it this way. Well, you don't have to. Like when I was a kid, we did White Supper. We have Swedish ancestors. So we did White Supper, and it was a lot of fish. White Supper on Christmas Eve. And so it's a lot of fish. And it was gross because I don't like fish. And so it was my least favorite meal of the year because I knew it was coming. And I'm like, oh, I hate White Supper. And then finally, when I was an adult, maybe the last year I lived at my mom's house, or right after, we decided to do it. I think we had her over, and I made the call to do white pizza. And we got Jill shrimp in a basket, I think, from a pizza place. So it still counts. Still counted for White Supper. We still did it. Yeah, so if I do White Supper, which I don't think we're going to be, sorry, Mom, that's not a tradition I'll be continuing. It'll be like white pizza and French fries or mashed potatoes or whatever. Because I hate fish, and I've never really liked fish, and it's just never been my thing. So being able to stop that tradition was very good for me because I don't like fish, and I was like, why am I doing this every year if I don't like it? Same thing with, not to get to, again, I grew up Catholic, so a lot of these are going to be things I did just because that's what we did, like not eating meat on Fridays during Lent, or, doing whatever, right? And I've talked about this before, but the idea of traditions just for the sake of them is silly. And so I'm with you, MAG, on that part. We do things, we handle things every year, just do the same stuff every year just because it's a nice thing to do. Like some people will go to the light show downtown, or they'll go up to the same place every year to go see Santa, or they'll go shopping wherever. They go to this place to go shopping and have lunch or something like that. And so that stuff is cool. So, but I also, I get the sentiment that you shouldn't do it just because you've always done it. You should do it because you enjoy doing it. And so I think there's a distinction there between, or I guess the distinction of why you do the things that you do every season, right? So you're not doing it just because you always did it one way, but you do it because you like it every year, and it brings you joy, and you want to pass it on and have fun with your family, right? Maybe not. Sorry, MAG, I stepped over your answer. I think I stepped all over your answer. I'm sorry, but thank you for listening. Happy holidays, my friend. Rez, I can't read that one, man. My mom listens. All right. He manipulates himself under the mistletoe. Now, here's my question, Rez. Do you do that? Do you do it yourself? You stand under there yourself and just kind of go to town? Or do you wait for somebody? Because I guess the idea is you meet under the mistletoe, whoever's under there, and you kiss, right? So do you wait until people meet under the mistletoe and then just kind of stand next to them and go to town on yourself? Is that a thing that you do? Or do you just sit in the corner with the mistletoe over your head and, manipulate yourself? Let me know. Is that your Christmas tradition? MAG, maybe talk about that. Talk to Rez about that tradition. Is that a thing you could do? Oh, gross. Oh, happy holidays, buddy. Thank you for being gross. I needed to laugh today. I need to laugh all the time. But, yesterday was my in-office day, and it was just a whole thing. It was a whole thing. Our friend on Threads, 30 Ballparks, posted a GIF or a GIF, however you want to say it. I honestly don't care. I say GIF, so there you go, because it stands for graphical. So unless you say graphical, then I don't know. Anyway, he shared a GIF of the clip from SNL where they do that. You know what? Let's play the clip.
I don't care what your mama says. Christmas time is near. I don't care what your daddy says. Christmas time is near.
I don't care what your mama says. Christmas time is here. That one. That's for the patrons, by the way, so you know what I'm talking about. We try to watch that every year. Like, it comes on NBC every year around this time, and we try to put it on most of the time because it's just fun. Like that song, and they do the Holiday Duets album, which is this sketch, which is really fun, and something else that we really enjoy. And it's just really fun. Like, it's just silly, and it's fun, and we enjoy listening to that one. So yeah, 30 Ballparks, I'm with you. If you like baseball, then go to Instagram and Threads, and maybe, are they on Blue Sky? I don't know. But 30 Ballparks, spell out the word 30, THIRTY, Ballparks, BALLPARKS, 30 Ballparks on Threads and Instagram. If you're a baseball fan, that is a great account to follow. So there you go with that. Yeah, that's all from you, from all y'all, from yous guyses. So thank you very much. Happy holidays to you all. And you know what? It's not bad that I don't have a ton, because that's less work. I got to get right in to edit this, and we're going to be fine. It's going to be great. But we have a couple, in addition to me doing this wonderful episode, because it's my favorite thing to do. It's my favorite episode to do all year. It's just so much fun. It's a lot of work, but it's so much fun to put it all together and get all the festive tunes and get all the things, get all the seasonal whatnots and whatchamacallits out here for you. It's just, I love doing this. It's my favorite time of year. Just big fan. We used to also, so when Jill's grandfather was alive, we stopped doing this a few years before he passed. And I don't remember exactly why. Maybe it was the plans changed and they stopped. Because what they used to do is all the people, all the aunts and uncles and whoever's would get together at the grandfather's house and for Christmas Eve and do gifts and just have food and just hang out. And just every year, it's like, Christmas Eve at Pop-Up's house. We'll go over and hang out there. And we stopped doing it. A couple of uncles decided, or cousins decided to take him to dinner and then didn't tell anyone else that they weren't doing the thing at his house anymore. And so I remember one year we showed up there and waited, and then finally somebody else came up and said, yeah, there's nobody here. They took him out. So like then they came home. We're like, oh yeah, we took him out to dinner. And we're all just like, okay, you could have told us. But anyway, the reason I say that is because we didn't really get dinner there. So we'd go there for like an hour or whatever to say hi to people, and then we would go. And we would always stop at Wawa on the way home because we didn't have dinner. And so we were always hungry after doing the thing. And so Jill and I have done our best to continue the tradition of either going on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, dinner or lunch at Wawa. Just a thing we've always like, hey, what are we doing today? Let's go to Wawa. So I think we're going to do Christmas dinner from Wawa this year. Because Christmas Eve we may go to her brother's, which I think may start a new tradition for all of us. So that could be fun. Again, all depends on if the kid is sick or not, which is, we'll see. So, yeah, I think the Christmas Eve Wawa trip or the Christmas Day Wawa trip will be a thing that we do going forward. We've done it several years, so I think that'll work out. And then, whatever new traditions we make with the boy. We talked about going to, where are we going to go? See some Christmas lights somewhere. I don't remember where we were going to go. Also don't want to dox myself in case you want to show up there and be weird about it. So, so we talked about that. We'll see if that works out. I'll let you know if we made that trip to wherever we were going to go. And so, yeah, we'll see which new ones we can come up with to do with the boy, whatever he wants to do. If a neighborhood has a tree lighting, our old neighborhood does a tree lighting, but it's no longer a real tree. They have like a metal thing they put up on a pole, and it's just like lights around a metal, like it's like a giant slinky, the tree in a way. And it used to be like the first couple of years we lived there, it was a real tree. And then they decided, hey, this would be cheaper and easier to do this metal tree thing. And so they do that, and it's less exciting, so we don't go over there. But yeah, if a neighborhood does a tree lighting or do a something or other, a get-together, we might do that. So we'll see what happens. And who knows what maybe the kid will grow up and get some friends and his friends will do some stuff and we'll get roped into things there and we'll start new traditions that way. So we shall see. We'll try to get some new traditions, or maybe we won't. Maybe we just won't do things. We'll just hang out with each other and just be with ourselves, and maybe we'll go to dinner with somebody else. Well, who knows? Who knows? Not me. Not me. I'm not a clairvoyant. I don't know. So we shall see with that. But yeah, those are some things we used to do and things we may be doing, and it's going to be fun. I love this time of year, the decorations, the caroling. I don't like to go caroling, but I guess caroling is the wrong word unless you're going out with someone named Carol, which I'm not. I love Christmas music. I love the decorations, the lights, all the things like that. And so we'll keep putting that stuff up. I guess does that count as a tradition to hang stuff? We should be doing the tree soon. It might be a little guy because we don't have a lot of space, but I guess by the time you hear this, that'll be done. So yeah, it's always good. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna make it fun. God damn it! And hope you have a lovely time as well. I really do. I really do. Another great tradition. Why'd I say it twice fast like that? I don't know, man. I don't know. Thank you for weighing in. Hope you have a lovely time doing whatever it is that you do, even or maybe especially if it's nothing. All right, so we will take a break, and then we will talk about the next installment of recapping a Christmas episode of The Office. We'll do Secret Santa, that episode. We'll do that after this. But before we get there, I guess another tradition is we play this song by Hana Khan. And my friend Danny Schmitz was involved in this somehow. That's how I found out about it. And I really should find out exactly what he did on this song so I can properly credit him. And also, I should probably have Hana Khan on the show, if only to make sure I've been pronouncing her name correctly for the last few years. So if you want to come on, let's do this. But in the meantime, for everybody, please enjoy Hana Khan. This song is called Ho, Ho, Ho. It's the Melting Pat. This is fantastic. And we'll be right back.
Wrapping up our presents and stick 'em right under the Christmas tree. Fill up all our stockings with our favorite little things. It's you and me. Look at all the snowflakes falling on the ground. Take a sip of champagne. It's time to go out. We say, ho, 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 let's go. We are on the way to mistletoe. And games we can play while we are all at home. And staying warm around the fire. Watching snow, singing ho, ho, ho. Whoa, warm around the fire. Watching snow, singing ho, ho, ho. Whoa, warm around the fire. Watching snow, singing ho, ho, ho. We cannot decide between candy cane kinds. There's mint and sweet. But most important to get down are cookies for the Santa meet and greet. So much sweet to go around, there's so much in store. With Christmas cheer and happy tears, we're ready for more. We say, ho, 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 let's go. We are on the way to mistletoe. And games we can play while we are all at home. And staying warm around the fire. Watching snow, singing ho, ho, ho. Whoa, warm around the fire. Watching snow, singing ho, ho, ho. Whoa,
Hanukkah, ho, ho, ho. Why do I always say it like the Santa from the creepy Santa from Christmas Story? I don't know. I hope it's fine. Is it fine? Is it fine? Ho, ho, ho. Is that better? Or is that mocking? I don't know. Hanukkah. You can find her on Instagram, and I think she's doing a lot on TikTok. I'm not on TikTok, so I'm not sure. But links to all of the musical people's things will be in the show notes and at themeltingpat.com. So there you go with all of that. And let's talk about The Office, shall we? Should we do that? Not my Office, the TV show, as we've done for the last couple of years here, because they've done several Christmas episodes, holiday shows. And so I decided a few years ago, let's review them on the program. And so that's what we'll do now. So this one is season 6, episode 13. It is called Secret Santa. And so you can pause. You can go watch it on Peacock, on your DVD if you have that, or through whichever means you wish to watch TV shows. Go check this one out. You can pause it. We'll hit the theme song, and we will come right back and do our nice little recap. So before we get into it, let's read the synopsis of the episode, which I'm sorry I keep forgetting to do when I do these recaps. But Michael is outraged when Jim allows Phyllis to be Santa at the office Christmas party. Jim and Dwight try to get everyone into the holiday spirit. So that's pretty good description, pretty apt, that's pretty much what went down. So our cold open is Jim and Dwight unveiling the Christmas tree. As we get a little cutaway, and Dwight's like, my diabolical plot is on hold for Christmas, because he's like, I'm just tired. Maybe I'm depressed. So he joked that he likes children singing or something, and then he chuckled. Maybe he guffawed a little bit, and then he's like, I'm just tired. So they unveil the Christmas tree. It's not decorated, and everybody's like, dude, why would you cover up the tree if you're not revealing anything? You're not hiding anything. It's just an empty tree. And Jim's like, yes, because I think we think it'd be better if we decorated it all together. So then Erin has an announcement for the office. She's like, I don't know if I've earned the right to make announcements, but whoever has me for Secret Santa and is sending me the 12 Days of Christmas, please stop. And of course it's Andy, because the 12 Days of Christmas, if you don't know, it's basically all birds. The first at least 5 days are birds, because 5 golden rings, it's not jewelry, it's pheasants. I think aren't they all like regional terms for birds? Isn't that the thing, that they're all actually birds? So a ton of birds. Erin is not having a good time. Of course it's Andy. He begged Jim and Dwight to give him Erin for Secret Santa, and he did 12 Days of Christmas because that could be fun, and it's not fun. But in better news, Phyllis is finally office Santa Claus, and she's like, I asked Jim a couple of months ago. She said 11 weeks ago, and I don't know. I don't watch any lead-up episodes to find out if things are significant. Maybe I should. But I watch them on their own. And so anything is based on my memory. Any kind of jokes that I might miss, it's because I haven't watched the actual show in a while. But is that significant that 11 weeks ago, is that a thing? I don't know. Anyway, Jim said, let's let Phyllis do Santa Claus. She's wanted to do it for years. So Phyllis is like, hey, the party is jolly unless you're bad. And Creed's like, what if we've been really bad, like downright evil? And Phyllis is like, lump of coal for you. And he tries to kind of elaborate. Creed, by the way, steals every scene he's in this show. Does he have another scene in the episode? I'm not sure. I don't think he does. But anyway, Jim's like, Creed, we got it, man. Lump of coal. It's all right. So Creed was close to admitting something, I think. And then they're like, nope, we're good. So Dwight's Secret Santa is sending him his gift in pieces. And we actually, Dwight is explaining that's what he would do to catch Osama bin Laden.
I would simply send him a different piece each day. He would assemble it to find himself in jail.
The other reason I love doing this episode, or love doing these recaps, is I get to play the clips, and they're always really fun for me. So there you go. So we're in the conference room, and Pam is trying to talk to Oscar, who is looking out the window. And Pam is just saying anything and everything, and Oscar's like, that's funny. Clearly just not paying attention, because he is checking out the warehouse guy who was outside. There's no one else around, but the warehouse guy had a football in his hand, is like up over his head. So did someone just throw it to him? Or what I think happened, this is the funnier option, is the producers were like, hey, we got a scene where Oscar's going to just be looking at you doing stuff. So just take this football, hold it above your head, run around like celebrating. And I love the idea that there's no one else out there but him. Oh, man. So then Michael enters the office dressed as Santa Claus. And Jim's like, hey, we already have or whoever said, we already have an office Santa. Oh, Pam said it. Well, Phyllis is Santa Claus. We're good. And Michael is just furious about this. And then we get a cutaway of Michael in his office and talking about Russian Santa Claus.
If this were Russia, yeah, sure. Everybody would go to one Santa, and there would be a line around the block. And once you sat on her lap and she asked you what you wanted, you would say probably freedom, at which point the KGB would arrest you and send you to Siberia. It's a good thing Russia doesn't exist anymore.
And I love the idea that Michael thinks Russia just does not exist, which that's great. Like wherever he got that information, it's very funny to me. So Michael comes out of his office. He's in a chair, and he makes some trans jokes, anti-trans jokes. And if you watch this today, maybe even if you watched it then, you would go, "Oh, Michael's a transphobe." If this is if this is the first episode of The Office you've ever watched, and you see that, you go, "Oh man, this character is a transphobe." I don't think that's true. I think he's just too dumb to realize that it's inappropriate. Like, he just says things, and I think there is a quote in one of these episodes. I just start a sentence, and I don't even know where it's going to go, right? I just think he's too dumb to understand that what he's saying is not appropriate. It was a fun scene. So Kevin's like, oh, Phyllis says I'm too big to sit on her lap. So Michael invites Kevin to sit on his lap, and I thought it was a fun scene, even though it was just a long, fat joke, because at the end of it, Kevin's like, oh, I didn't even get a chance to tell you what I wanted, but Santa Michael goes, oh, well, you're going to get 1,000 helium balloons, so Santa doesn't have to deal with this anymore. And Kevin's like, yes. So I liked the payoff, even though, the joke doesn't hold up. Maybe it shouldn't have held up then. But, the jokes didn't really hold up on this one. But, it is what it is. I think knowing the characters helps it not be so inappropriate in the context of the show. How's that? Am I defending something that shouldn't be defended? I don't know, man. It's a TV show. Just a TV show. A holiday special. It's fine. So then Phyllis goes into Jim's office and says, hey, don't make me get Bob involved. Like, you're going to fix this. I'm Santa Claus. Jim's like, yeah, that's what we all want. And she's like, don't make me get Bob involved. And Jim's like, what's Bob do? What will Bob do? Like, kind of laughing at first. And then Phyllis is like, never mind. I shouldn't have said anything. And she leaves. And then Jim looks legitimately concerned. Like, is Bob going to come beat somebody up? Is Bob going to come start messing with stuff? Who knows? Who knows? Bob Vance. Vance Refrigeration, by the way. And so Aaron's talking to Andy, joking around like, hey, I can't figure out who is sending me these birds. What is going on here? Is it you? And then they're laughing back and forth. Andy's like, yep, you got me. Totally got me. And I'm just like, oh, man. He casually admitted it. And Aaron is, I don't want to say dumb. Let's call Aaron naive and gullible. Let's go with that. There are nicer ways to say that. And so Aaron's like, oh, okay, Andy clearly joking. But we already know, as the viewer, we already know Andy did it. And so, we'll see. We'll see. Really bad idea, by the way, sending somebody all those birds. So then Oscar is down in the warehouse, and he takes Matt's check. The guy he's been checking out, his name is Matt, the gay warehouse guy, as Pam said. And he takes it down to the warehouse, and he's like, hey, Daryl, I got Matt's check. I wanted to give it to him. And Daryl's like, oh, he's on a delivery. So Oscar's like, all right, I'll wait. And then 10 seconds later, not even, Daryl's like, hey, that Matt's a pretty good looking dude, right? And Oscar's like, I'll just leave it with you. And he goes upstairs. So spooks Oscar because, I don't know, man. I mean, we'll find out later. Oscar's playing the game here, but he's now made it obvious to at least two people in the office that he likes this dude. So we'll see where this goes. And so Michael is still sitting in his chair. People are taking pictures with Phyllis in a chair. Phyllis has a big chair and a whole big setup. And so Ryan is manning the camera, and Michael is in his chair right behind that, and he's trying to pull Ryan onto his lap. And he's like, come on, man, I need this. And Jim pulls Michael into his office to scold him. Like, dude, you can't say I need this while trying to force an employee to sit on your lap. Like, it's not a thing. And so he's like, all right, let's go vote on who they want to be Santa. So the office votes, and Phyllis wins in a landslide. Dwight voted twice, by the way. He voted for both Phyllis and Michael, which I thought was funny. And so then, oh man, do you want some? Jim's like, hey, do you want some punch? And Michael's like, yeah, I'll take some punch. And he puts his Santa hat right into the punch bowl, just ruining it. Damn it, Michael. Come on, man. Come on, man. So Dwight is still trying to put together his gift. As I said, it's being sent to him in pieces, and he thinks it's a gun. And Stanley behind him goes, unless the missing piece is a gun, you don't have a gun. And Dwight's got a whole list. It's like squirrel trap, beaver trap, possum trap, and then gun was like in the middle. So he thought it was a trap for an animal because people know that he's got a farm and he's very, very in tune with nature and things like that. Let's just leave it there. And so, of course, he would think it's some kind of trap. And then he's like, no, it's a gun, clearly. It's not a gun. We'll learn that later because the missing piece, we don't think it's a gun, right? So then Michael is still fuming that he's not Santa Claus. He's in his office cutting a promo, basically. He's flipping the Santa suit inside out, so he's dressed all in white. And he heads out the door to go back to the bullpen, back on the floor. And he says this.
But when you need my help, because I am ruining everything, don't look at me.
So he's like, I'm going to go. Basically, Michael's going to ruin the party. And don't come crying to me because I messed it up. Because he's just mad. So he emerges as Jesus Christ. And it's clearly a farce. And Angela, very religious, if you don't know the character, she claps for this. And I wondered, shouldn't she, because she's never really had a sense of humor about this kind of stuff on the show. So shouldn't she be the most offended about this? But she claps for it. Hey, Jesus is here. All right, okay. So Andy talks to Phyllis in the break room and says, hey, can you please don't reveal it to Erin that I'm her secret Santa? And Phyllis goes, oh, don't worry, sweetie. I'll tell her it was Michael. And that's super believable, by the way. The idea that Michael would think 12 Days of Christmas, what a fun thing to do to anyone, whoever he had, that's believable. Like if you said like, oh yeah, of course you did that. Andy's trying to win Erin over, so I get where he was coming from, but it was not a good idea. So they're having the party. The warehouse people are up in the office and they're having their party, having some drinks and some food. And so Pam's like nudging Oscar, like, hey, Oscar, have you talked to Matt yet? You should go talk to him. And he's like, he doesn't want to do it. And so then she initiates it. And she is talking to Matt. She's talking up Oscar. She is laying it on thick. And then she goes, oh, how come the good ones are never straight, huh? I'm just like, Pam. Oh, Pam. Oh, man. Yeah, right. I think Pam is pregnant with at least their first kid, right? So this is right around when Jim and Pam really started to get annoying in the show. So yeah, she's laying it on thick. Oh, man. So then Phyllis delivers a package to Dwight from the North Pole branch, the Dunder Mifflin North Pole branch. And Dwight's like, oh, we don't have a North Pole branch, idiot. He grabs the thing, and Michael is sitting. So there's a karaoke machine in the office, of course. The office, they do like to sing and whatnot. And it was in use. And then Michael somehow commandeered it and is sitting in a chair. And he's like, oh, great. He's narrating quite unenthusiastically things that are going on. So he's like, oh, what did Dwight get? Oh, it's space garbage. He can make himself a friend. And then Phyllis is walking around giving out presents. And Stanley, you've been a very good boy this year. And Michael's like, oh, except for cheating on your wife. Adultery's a sin, people. And Stanley's gift was a scented candle, which was appropriate, as Jesus Michael said. I shouldn't say that. Shouldn't say it like that. But he's like, oh, it's appropriate because a lot of fire where you're going. And Angela gets fabric. And so Michael says, now you can make another dress that goes past your feet. And she goes, oh, I really wanted this. Andy, was this you? And Michael immediately goes, well, Phyllis is like, no, it's a secret. And Michael goes, no, Andy has Erin. It's like, oh, no. And then after that, Jim finally turns off the mic. And Michael's like, come on, man. And he's like, nope. And Michael storms away. So here's what I want to know. Why did Jim let it go on for so long? Well, I guess because he probably thought it was just harmless fun, right? I mean, well, calling out Stanley for cheating on his wife, that's not really harmless. And saying Dwight has no friends, like your boss saying you have no friends, that's not really harmless either, right? And then picking on Angela again, like, I don't know, man. I feel like Jim, as the boss, as a boss, should have stepped in sooner, right? Is that me? I don't know. Anyway, it might just be me. So Michael's in his office. He's furious. So he calls David Wallace. What is David Wallace's position? He's one of the executives of the company. I forget what he does. Anyway, he's a higher up. And so Michael calls David Wallace, and he's complaining about Phyllis usurping his role as Santa Claus. And so David's like, man, this is not a good time right now. He's like, I shouldn't tell you this, but Dunder Mifflin has a buyer, and they have no choice but to sell, and they're going to clean house. Now, here's my question about this for David Wallace. You know Michael Scott. you know he A, can't keep secrets, and B, does not understand nuance and will take things at face value and then exaggerate. So why on earth, why would you, in what universe is this a good idea to tell Michael Scott, like, hey, we're being sold? Like, you shouldn't do that. You know what's going to happen. And, well, I guess he doesn't have to deal with it directly. Like, he's not going to have to come down to Scranton and handle the business, right? They're going to have to deal with it some other way. So maybe that was part of it. Maybe he's like, I don't care anymore. I'm getting fired. It doesn't matter. And so Michael decides, all right, first this office needed a Santa. Then it needed a second Santa. And then it needed a Jesus. And now it needs a Michael. So he comes out as himself, like, sorry, we shouldn't bail on this party because some jerk ruined it. It's like, that was Jesus, that guy, that hurt, petulant Jesus, ruined the party. And Angela walks by and is super offended that Michael said that about Jesus. But she wasn't mad about the clear mockery he was making of Jesus earlier. And that just, I don't know why that's sticking with me, but it's just really like, come on, really? Come on, Angela. So Michael's like, all right. He sends Dwight out for pizza, and Dwight's like, what's your pin? And Michael's like, it's fun to stay at the, and Dwight just doesn't get it, which was a funny little beat. Aaron is talking to Andy, like, what were you thinking about the birds? Why would you do that to me? And so Andy, we got a little cutaway. He's like, a gentleman might be turned away by this, but I am determined, or whatever he said. I probably should have written that part down, but he is determined because, again, he's trying to win Aaron over. And so some way, somehow, he's going to do it. He's not going to be shied away by a little misstep, as he said. So then Michael is giving a speech in front of the party. And he's like, I look around at all your faces and I can't believe, I just think, how could they do this to us? And everybody's like, wait, what? What do you mean? And he's like, we're going out of business. David Wallace said we're being sold. And so people, of course, are panicking like, wait a minute, what do you mean we're being sold? We're not going under. That could mean a number of things. And Michael says, it's hard to imagine a world where Meredith Palmer has a job and David Wallace does not. No offense, Meredith. And they cut to Meredith and she delivered her, she's like, nah, I get it. And she delivered it so perfectly. It was just like 5 stars. 5 stars for that line read. Fantastic. And so Jim's like, I can't get a hold of David. Michael's like, I always know how to reach David Wallace, and we learn how.
He told me where his kids go to school. I call the school. I tell him I'm a pediatrician. They pass me through to his secretary. I use my little girl voice. Bada bing, bada boom.
So Michael's got him on speaker in his office with everybody from the office and the warehouse all kind of crammed in there. And he's like, they don't believe me. You told me everyone was canned. And David's like, you shouldn't have told anyone. But really what's happening is you're not fired. The executives are out and the company is buying for distribution. He's like, you guys are the only part of the company that works. So they're not being fired. A Christmas miracle. Everybody's excited. Jim seemed concerned for David Wallace, and then everyone else was excited that they weren't losing their jobs. But yeah, so the top guys out, and they're actually out. So, not great. And then we get a gift-giving montage. Kelly gets a Twilight poster from Jim, and she reacts like this is the greatest thing she's ever gotten. Meredith and a warehouse worker pick up the tree. By the way, Dwight, when he found out that the company was being sold, he kicked the tree over. And so Meredith and a warehouse worker pick up the tree. Ryan had Toby for Secret Santa and gifted him a kite because Toby's reading Kite Runner. And Toby went to hug him, like, oh, thanks, man. He went to hug him and Ryan just slinks away. And I'm like, oh, poor Toby. Poor Toby. Damn it. So Dwight finally puts together his gift. He's got the final piece and he puts it together and Michael drops off a bag of nuts. He's like, maybe these will help. And Dwight's like, Michael, not now. I can't. And then he puts it together and he figures out it's a large nutcracker and he's very excited. I can use this for many nuts, walnuts, peanuts, clams. And he's listing a whole bunch of things. It was very fun. And so Dwight is excited. Like Stanley said, unless the last piece is a gun, you don't have a gun. So he does not have a gun. Oscar, the warehouse guy, Matt, he leaves. And Oscar's like, all right, bye, Mark. And he looks at Pam like, I know what I'm doing. Oscar playing the game, man. Playing games. Is it going to work out? I don't know. I'm not going to watch the next one to let you know. But you can, and you can let me know. Because I got to watch another movie for next week. So, so there you go. So, Michael then goes to sit on Santa Phyllis's lap to, one, wish for an Xbox and a TV that's compatible with an Xbox. And he also apologizes, you know what? I was wrong. You are a great Santa. And Phyllis goes, you know what? I've decided you've been a good boy, so an Xbox it is. And just then, Bob Vance bursts in, angry, also dressed as Santa Claus. So here's my question. Was Bob Vance the Santa Claus at his office party at Vance Refrigeration? Or did Phyllis say, Michael won't let me be Santa Claus. Can you come handle this? And then he also decided to dress as Santa for some unknown reason. Either way, it's funny. Like he had to be removed from his Santa Claus duties at his party, or he decided when Phyllis called him earlier in the day to dress as Santa and come handle the business. I don't know, but Phyllis is like, nope, we're all good. I called him earlier. We've worked it out. Everything's fine. And they kiss on the chair like, passionately, as a husband and wife are wont to do. And Michael's like, oh, get a room, Santas. So our final scene, they're outside and everybody's leaving the party. And all of a sudden, a drum line, 12 drummers drumming, come around the corner and they do their thing. Everybody dances. And I do wonder, so we had the cutaway with Andy where he said a gentleman might be, turned away by this, but I'm going to march on, damn it. So did he at that point call the drum line, or was the drum line 12 drummers drumming? Was that always the plan for the last gift for Aaron? I don't know, but everybody dances and the episode ends, and that is that for our next Office Christmas episode. I will say, having a 12-person drum line do a routine would be fun. Like if I'm standing outside that office, or even if I'm in that building just working, hearing that would be fun for like 30 seconds. And then I would just be annoyed. So once again, Andy Bernard is the most annoying character. Just like what a... That would be so like if somebody did that for me, I'd be so annoyed. Like, no, I don't like birds, and I don't want you to send me a drum line for Christmas. That's not at all what I want. That's I don't even want to say that's the last thing I want, because that implies I still want it for some reason. But there you go. Andy, you did it again. That was a fun one. Not my favorite Christmas episode of The Office, but it was fun. I enjoyed it, and I loved the gift-giving montages that we got. I loved the Dwight trying to figure out what his gift was. And Phyllis, at long last, got to be Santa Claus. I enjoyed it. Enjoyable episode. I think there's only one more Office Christmas episode, right? I'll have to look it up. But we may only have one more of these next year, and then we'll figure out something else to do. Or, I don't know, who knows what the future of the show holds a year from now? I don't. Maybe Ben does, but I certainly do not. So there you go. That is The Office, Season 6, Episode 13, Secret Santa. That was fun. Enjoyed it. A wonderful part of the show that I love doing for you every year. So there you go. That is that. If you can answer any of my questions that I asked, I'm not going to write them down. Maybe I will. Let me know. Any Office superfans out there, let me know. But for now, we are going to go to break. We're going to come back and talk about a wonderful Peruvian tradition, a Peruvian Christmas festival. And I am excited to tell you about this because it is one of the most fascinating things I've ever heard of, and I can't wait to tell you. So we will get to that. But first, our dear friend Bronnie, we have her wonderful Christmas tune, Modern Day Xmas. This is a fun one. I really like it. BronnieMusic.com for more from her, Modern Day Xmas. It's the Melting Pat. Happy holidays, everyone. We'll be right back.
It's that time of year, spreading Christmas cheer. We're stocking up on beer. What? It's a modern day Christmas. Santa Ball crawl tonight. Not a woolly coat in sight. Girls aren't getting frostbite. Yeah. Well, it's a modern day Christmas. Who cares about spreading joy? It's such a joke. Christmas is about being scared 'cause we're all broke. This Christmas time, I've lost count of the number of times I burned my tongue on mulled wine and eating all of Costco's mince pies, trying to drown my sorrows, being nice to people I can't stand all year long. The cycle goes on and on and on and on and on. Secret Santa gifts should be banned. Your gifts will be from Pal Ban. I swear Santa's evil plan. I always get the person I hate. This year's not the same. No toys, that's too lame. Santa's the one to blame, and never got my one request. All I ever wanted was a little green guy who knew how to fly. I never got my alien, so I sit alone and I wonder why. This Christmas time, I've lost count of the number of times I burned my tongue on mulled wine and eating all of Costco's mince pies, trying to drown my sorrows and being nice to people I can't stand all year long. The cycle goes on and 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 on, on and on and on and on, on and 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 on, on and on, on and on and on and on and on. It goes on. This Christmas time, I've lost count of the times I burned my tongue on mulled wine and eating all of Costco's mince pie, trying to drown my sorrows and being nice to people I can't stand all year long. The cycle goes on and on and on, yeah. On and on and on and on, on and on and on and on, on and on and on and on and on, on and on and on and on and on and on, on and on, on and on and on and on and on. It goes on. It's a modern day Christmas.
Modern Day Xmas. Find more from her, Bronny Music. I think she's going on tour. She just finished a tour. I don't know, BronnyMusic.com. BRONNIE music for more from her. Thank you very much, my friend. That was the first song I think I ever heard from her, and then we've played a bunch from her since. Fantastic. I should have her on the show. Bronny, when you put out something new, come on the show. She's not listening, but that's okay. That's great. There you go. Sorry. All right. I'm not doing that for every song. But there you go. So I want to talk to you about this Peruvian festival. I read about this a few years ago. The Takanakuy Festival. I think that's how you say it. Takanakuy. I've heard a bunch of different pronunciations. I think Takanakuy or Takanuki is that might be the closest ones. The word, it comes from taka, meaning fight, and nakoi, meaning mutual. So basically, it's a mutual agreement, I guess, because it's not like nobody's sneaking up on you to beat you up at this thing. It's a whole planned event. I have to imagine that the combatants, the participants, all know ahead of time, like, hey, you're going to be called out. Okay. Well, we'll get into it, and then I'll talk about that. So let's try that again. Takanakoi is Quechua for to hit each other, and Quechua is an indigenous language that originated in Peru, and this is where this festival began. And from what I read and watched, I watched a few videos of this, and it is utterly fascinating. Land disputes back in the day in this part of the country, in this part of the world, I should say, and I imagine other places as well, land disputes were settled, they would just fight. They'd be like, hey, I live here. Somebody would be like, no, this is actually mine. Hey, let's fight over this. And I guess whoever won, like whoever knocked out his opponent or whatever, got the land. And so they have carried this tradition to modern-ish times. And well, now it's modern times, but they I assume they have evolved the tradition from whatever that was. People dress up in mostly traditional costumes. There are different regions that do this, by the way, different regions of Peru that do this. And so from what I saw, the costumes and the get-ups and whatnots vary from region to region, but they mostly seem to be based on Andean cultural symbols, because this happens in the Andes Mountains and in several villages. And again, it is just, this whole thing is absolutely fascinating to me. They have a procession through the streets before the fights. So I guess the more Christmas morning, you get up and, most people are opening presents, but these people are out there parading through the streets in their costumes and get everybody pumped up. And then a large crowd gathers to watch. They do it in like a big open field, basically. And they build bleachers, or maybe they already, I feel like they would have to have, like, this might actually be on a soccer pitch, like a football pitch for you, soccer for you Americans. I imagine it would be on like a football pitch or something like that. And then they just kind of do it because they do it in like they get in a circle. The fighters are in like a circle on the ground. And so I would imagine the easiest thing to do is just have them do it at midfield on the pitch. And everybody, like the bleachers and stands and whatever, would already be there. Maybe it's a little more crude than that, but I think that would be, that's a good idea I just thought of right now. I'm sure they've already thought of that and figured it out, but I didn't, that's not something I wrote down. I just thought of it as I'm talking through it. And people dress up and there's music and dancing and it's a whole big festival and people come out and watch, man. And how it happens, here's where I kind of got confused. I haven't found a definitive answer for this yet, but from what I gather, somebody goes into the middle of the circle, the middle of the ring, I suppose, and they call out somebody from the village by first and last name. And then the fighters essentially have a martial arts contest. It's martial arts style fighting. Punching, kicking is okay. I don't think grappling is necessarily encouraged. But here's what I wondered, though. So it's a way to settle disputes you've had throughout the year. So do you go, like, if you have an issue with somebody in February, you're like, oh, man, this dispute, man. Do you go, is there like a head Takanakuy Festival person or like a grand council or whatever, and you go to their offices and you go to somebody's house, I guess, wherever they might be, and they keep a list, like they have a big book of who's going to fight. So if you have an issue with somebody in January or February 2025, and you go, Jimmy, whatever, really, and so you go to whoever, you go to the grand high person and say, hey, I want to put my name on a list. I want me and this guy. And you write down, and somebody go, oh, okay, and they write down the names. And then, since you filed the grievance, you would go out to the middle of the ring and say, Jimmy, get your ass out here. And then, do they get to cut promos, I wonder, or they just call them out, and then Jimmy comes down, they wrap their hands with cloth, and then they have at it, and whoever wins, wins. That's what I wondered. I wonder how the fighters are selected and how they're made aware that, hey, you got a fight coming up on Christmas. I imagine you don't you don't show up there to watch and then you all of a sudden randomly get called out into the ring. Like, I'm sure that doesn't happen. I'm sure I'm not going to say like they booked them, but maybe they kind of do, like in a way they would, right? They would book the fight. They wouldn't book book the actual conclusion, but I assume you would all be aware that, I have to imagine that both combatants would be aware that they have to fight on Christmas. There we go. That they're going to be a part of the show and that they're going to be fighting and not just watching. So they call somebody out. Punching and kicking is okay. Biting, hitting those on the ground and pulling hair, those things are not okay. By the way, men, women, and children get to do this. Anybody can do it. You win if you get a knockdown. So if you knock down your opponent, the fight's over. Or if the officials step in, because there are referees and things like that. So they step in and make sure, everybody's okay, because you're not really trying to maim the person, right? It's just, getting out. You're resolving an issue that you had to start the new year without any. That's the goal of the festival. It's the goal of the Fight Club, I suppose. We're not supposed to talk about that. Is you start a new year fresh with no real issues at hand. And so I guess between Christmas and the new year, you have to be on your best behavior or something like that. Or you wait till next year. Yeah, so there's some order to it. It's not just a random, I'm sure it maybe started as a random tribal thing, but now it has evolved into several villages do this. And I'm sure they have different variations. But from everything that I've read, that's basically the gist, is that you go, you have a grievance, and you fight it out. You just wail on each other until somebody falls down or can't continue. And I guess the town elders or the referees or the guys who can't fight anymore, they get to officiate and decide when these fights end and declare a winner. And then before and after, you shake hands or you hug and you're like, all right, cool, man. We handled our business. We got it out of our systems. And now we're okay. And so I read a couple different things. You shake hands after you're done, and then you go get drunk to numb the pain. So I read a couple different things. One said that they have a big community breakfast beforehand, and then they parade through the streets. And another thing said that they have a big dinner afterward, which I think the first thing that I saw said they had a big dinner. And then today, I read they had a big breakfast. And so I'm wondering, you could probably do both, right? Well, if it's one or the other, I guess it depends how rich your village is. But I would imagine you wouldn't want to fight on a full stomach. That's probably not good. But it seems like the more common way to do it is you have a big community breakfast and you parade through the streets, let the food settle so nobody pukes on each other during the fight, unless that's your tactic, and then and then you go get drunk afterward, and then you do whatever else it is that you do on Christmas. So that seems to be the most common way. And then I also read today that on December 26th, the best fighters from all the villages gather in a different place, and they determine who is the best of the fighters from that Christmas festival. This is amazing. This is one of the coolest things I've ever heard of. And it's an indigenous tradition that has now spread to modern times. And like I said, people used to settle land disputes by fighting, and now anybody with an issue can call out their opponent and have at it. Again, I assume that everyone involved, like both people involved in the fight, know that there's going to be a fight on Christmas. I have to imagine that is how it works. It's like super Festivus, right? You know, Festivus, you go, hey, you wronged me in this way. And then maybe people throw hands, and that's not really official and not as much fun. So instead, what you would do is, you wronged me in this way. We're going to the high elders, the town council, whoever, and we're going to go in the book, and I'm going to beat the crap out of you at the festival. We're going to do it. We are going to do it, and I have resisted the urge to call it the Takanakuy Festival. Takanakuy was a pro wrestler, and I just, Taka means to fight. It's a good name for a wrestler, I suppose. And maybe Taka has moved to Peru and decided to fight for the Takanakuy spirit. I don't know. Anyway, this is one of the coolest things I've ever heard of. And it's not just like randomly thrown together. Like, this is a fully planned annual festival. And yeah, there's singing and dancing and people dress up and thousands of people come to watch. And it seems super interesting. And yeah, you fight it out. Do a little martial arts style thing, and you fight it out. And then next year, hopefully you don't have to do it again, because I feel like maybe once is enough. So I guess if you got an issue with somebody in January or February, you got to wait the rest of the year to handle it. Do you then start training, right? You start training then to like, oh, I'm going to get you on Christmas, boy. I'm going to get you. Well, I guess it'd be in Spanish, but my Spanish isn't that good to translate that on the fly. But I imagine you would start training, and as soon as you have the fight booked, you'd start training and get yourself ready to beat the crap out of somebody, which is really fun. Do you think they have like a training ground where like anybody can go throughout the year and get ready for their fight? Do you think that's a thing, or they just do it on their own? What do you think? I don't know. But this is fascinating. I love this. I think it's a good idea, actually. I think it's a good way to help. I think if we did this in America, first of all, realistically, we could not, because somebody would bring a gun and ruin everything. But wouldn't this be a better way to do it? Wouldn't this be a better way to solve our problems? Maybe you wouldn't even have to wait. Like, if we did this, if there was an American version of this, where it's like a sanction, well, I guess sanctioned is the wrong word because it's not put on by the government, but sanctioned by whoever puts this all together, by the village, by the neighborhood. And maybe you could do it every couple of months in America and just have, instead of letting it fester and stew, because then who knows what they're going to do to the person. Which is, I've wondered about this too. Like, do they do mini little Takanakuy festivals throughout the year, or just one big thing and they all just kind of wait and train and hope that nothing else happens, I guess? Do they do more than one fight? Does somebody do more than one fight in a day? Like, if you go, oh, this guy wronged me, and then so you fight him, but you've already booked with somebody else too, like, that guy also wronged me. Do you do that? I don't know. But I think, yeah, if we could do this in America, which again we couldn't because somebody would be packing, and that's not good. But wouldn't this be better? Just hit each other, get it all out, and then go get drunk. I think this is a better way to handle all our business. I really do. I think this is the way to do it. So who do I talk to about getting a version of this, the Takanakuy Festival, in an American setting? Who do I talk to about this? Would this be like a council person issue, or a state senator, or I guess it'd be by neighborhood, right? So it'd be your council person. So I guess I should reach out to them and figure out what to do. We live near a park. We could do it there. And I wonder if more people will get on board. So let me know if you have heard about this and you're interested in learning more, I guess. There are plenty of resources available. If you've never heard of this, I'm very happy that I got to bring it to you today because it is utterly fascinating. And I would be interested to see if we could do this in America. I mean, you would have to trust that people wouldn't bring weapons to the thing, which for a lot of Americans, I don't think you could. But but wouldn't this be a better way? You hash it out, you wail on each other for a few minutes. Fights last between 5 and 10 minutes, by the way, or I guess up to 5 minutes. If they don't last that long, then they separate you, and then you shake your hand, shake the guy's hand or whoever, and then you go get drunk. And you watch the rest of the fights, and then you go get drunk. And that, I think, is a great method of conflict resolution that I think we would be a better country if this happened. So if we can get Congress or the Senate or the president or whoever, I guess let's start with our town councils and our neighborhood watch people. Maybe that's too low. But let's start there and try to get this rolling because I really think that this could make us a better place. I really do. Happy holidays. This is great. I want to go to Peru on Christmas, and I want to see what this is all about. I want to witness this in person and see what this is all about because this sounds fantastic. You know what else sounds great, everybody? Yeah, segue. Does that work for you? I don't know. Our new friends, newish friends, we already did that part. We're good. The Life and Idol, our friends, they have released the holiday song, and I really enjoy it. I enjoy it enough to include it in the yearly show. So here you go. This would be a hell of a holiday if we could make this happen in America. Life and Idol, hell of a holiday. It's the Melting Pat. Happy holidays. We're coming right back.
Christmas hearts are bleeding out, and there's no joy with snow around. The light turn my eyes and make my head hurt. Wrapping gifts is a lot of work. I'm already broke and haven't bought a single gift. This sweater's hot. Those peppermint drinks have got to go. I fucking hate this Christmas show. I hope you have a hell of a holiday with friends in town and a fan to hang. I hope this year's Christmas is better than the last. I hope this Christmas season starts to come and pass. Merry Christmas to the fucking assholes who crowd the malls and make the hassle for the underpaid and the overworked. And the same to you if you're just a jerk. 'Cause streets are perilous, how can you cherish this? Now I can make a spin in my car in a parking lot. I lost control, thought I had it gripped. Now I'll pay the toll. I hope you have a hell of a holiday with friends in town and a family hang. I hope this year's Christmas is better than the last. I hope this Christmas season starts to come and pass. I hope this Christmas season comes to pass. I took a year to move all my cash. And I feel like the ghost of Christmas past. Black Friday shoppers, you can buy my ass. I hope you have a hell of a holiday with friends in town and a family hang. I hope this year's Christmas is better than the last. I hope this Christmas season starts to come and pass.
Life and Idol, hell of a holiday. A new addition to the Melting Pat holiday lore, as it were, the Melting Pat, the Next Level Network. Yeah, when did I get introduced to them? Last year, I guess. And then they put out the holiday song. I listened to it. I was like, that's awesome. Can I put that on the show? They said, absolutely. And now it's become a part of the festivities. How about that? I knew somehow we were going to find the right words. I don't know. I tried this 3 times. So before we go today, we got a real thing to talk about. Not like specifically, but we're gonna have a real chat a little bit later, okay, about how holidays are tough, and especially now. So we'll talk about getting through that together. We'll do that momentarily. But I got a couple of other Christmas notes that I always like to bring up because let's call them common Christmas misconceptions. The 12 Days of Christmas, they don't start until, I know that a lot of TV networks will start the 12 Days of Christmas festivities on December 13th. But actually, the 12 Days of Christmas start after Christmas because they signify the time it took for the Magi, the three wise men, to find baby Jesus, right? They see the star and they go, hey, I think there's something over there. And it took them 12 days to get from wherever they were to the manger where Jesus was, right? According to how the story goes, right? So that's what it means. It ends on the 12 Days of Christmas end on January 6th. That is the Feast of the Epiphany, when they get there and go, oh my gosh, this guy is the real deal, kid. And then is that offensive? It's offensive if you didn't grow up Catholic with a sense of humor about religion like I did. So, all right, let's try that again. So they see the star. It takes them 12 days. They get there on January 6th, at least how we celebrate. And that's the Feast of the Epiphany. And they go, oh, this guy is the guy, right? So there you go. Also, we know that Jesus was not born on December 25. We know that. It was just I think that date was selected, I think, for one of two reasons based on different things that I've read. And Christians kind of adopted that to either line up with the solstice or they wanted to combine the festival, the decorating and gift giving, which were pagan traditions. They wanted to kind of mold all that together in some kind of holiday gathering, togetherness, all that stuff. New season, new life, togetherness, all that. It makes sense. And so, yes, why not also celebrate? Hey, the solstice celebrates like the beginning of a new season. So Christians, some Christian years ago, or some council, I suppose, decided, hey, why don't we put that as the birth of Jesus and kind of roll with that? And so that's kind of how that works out as far as I can surmise from things that I've read over the years. So, yes, Catholics do know that Jesus was not born on December 25, but it makes sense when you really think about it, and you don't take it too literally. Then it makes sense, and it's fine. Honestly, it's fine. And also, the people I used to see the signs around town from whatever organization where it's like, keep Christ in Christmas, right? Because Xmas, people don't like that. They think you're eliminating Jesus from the equation, which honestly, if you're celebrating Christmas and you're not a Jesus person, you don't follow Jesus, like that's fine. You can celebrate the secular parts of Christmas and not worry about the birthday party. But just minimizing all of it. But no, so when people write Xmas in shorthand, they think that some people believe that you are removing Christ from Christmas. And again, if you are, like, that's fine with me anyway. But X is actually among the oldest markers for Christ. It's the first letter of the word Christ in Greek. Back when paper was scarce and expensive and only for the rich people, they had to make use of the space. And if you want to get a whole message out, sometimes you have to write shorthand. And so X has been an abbreviation for Jesus since, I believe, from what I read, the 3rd or 4th century. And its use as an abbreviation for Christmas goes back at least a century. So it's not eliminating Jesus from the equation, although, again, that's fine. Not to some people, but for our purposes on the show, that's fine. But it isn't. So when you say it's not Xmas, it's Christmas, you're saying it's not Christmas, it's Christmas. Because X is short for Christ, basically. So it's the same thing, just written in a shorter way. And guess what? It's fine. Just, look, man, put a sock in it, okay? Just enjoy yourselves. Like, stop worrying. Like, these weird culture wars people have. You can't say Merry Christmas, and it's not Xmas, it's Christmas. Bah. Like, these weird things people get upset about when you could instead shift your energy to having a good time at the holidays instead. Like, you could have a good time at Christmas instead of being a weirdo and getting upset about random stuff. Maybe to you, not random, but like things that shouldn't matter as much as they do in your head. And you can just have fun instead. Sit back, watch your holiday specials, your Rudolph, your Frosty, your whatever you do. If you're like me, you watch a Charlie Brown Christmas because it's just wonderful and I love it. And I try to watch it every year. I do enjoy it, even though, again, I'm not not super religious at this point in my life. And that's, I don't think I'm any worse for it. Some people might disagree. That's fine. You do you and I'll do me. How about that? We good? All right. So speaking of Christmas traditions, I know we did a bunch of them earlier, but another great Christmas tradition for me for this episode that I've done every year is I like to play Linus explaining to Charlie Brown what Christmas is all about. And so I like to do that, especially after a segment where I get a little rowdy, get a little rambunctious, get a little upset. Not upset, but get a little fired up. And so I like to do that. And this is where we're going to do it. I'm just telegraphing it. This is what we're going to do. Okay? Because we need a minute because we just got kind of feisty at some people who are being silly. And so let's all bring it down. Let's bring it back to what Christmas is all about, watching TV. So, Linus, can you help us out?
Isn't there anyone who knows what Christmas is all about? Sure, Charlie Brown. I can tell you what Christmas is all about. And there were in the same country shepherds, abiding in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them. And the glory of the Lord shone round about them. And they were sore afraid. And the angel said unto them, Fear not. For behold, I bring you tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord. And this shall be a sign unto you. Ye shall find the babe wrapped in swaddling clothes, lying in a manger. And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly host praising God, and saying, Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace, goodwill toward men. That's what Christmas is all about, Charlie Brown.
So there we go. I love that. I love that I just decided I'm not going to worry about any cease and desist orders. I'm just going to play it at the holidays and hope that nothing bad happens. And I think because I'm not famous, that we're fine. So there you go. If you enjoy the Charlie Brown Christmas special, I hope you get to watch it this season. Hope you already have. Watch it again. Why not? We should do a review of that one year, right? Is that a thing we should do? Let me know. Okay? Let me know. All right. I think we're going to be okay, though. I think we're good. We've had a lot of fun here. We've had a lot of sweet tunes. Thank you to Bronny. Thank you to Hana Khan. Thank you to Life in Idle. Thank you to The Wild and Free. This has been, it's always fun when I get to dig back into the holiday bag there and play the tunes. And I hope you've enjoyed them as well. Hope you've enjoyed our chats and our holiday traditions. Thank you all for your answers. I appreciate them. And even though it's a lot of reading, I do appreciate it. So there we go. But I want to close today, before we do the much better and have some fun with their holiday greeting song. I said this at Thanksgiving, and I don't know if it's more true at Christmas, but it's also true at Christmas, that holidays can be tough. And patrons got a little bit of this in the bonus, but the holiday season can be tough for a lot of people for any number of reasons, whether you're dealing with loss or you have dealt with loss and it still just sticks with you, or if you're dealing with, I don't know, something happened and you have to kind of navigate a difficult situation at the holidays, or if the holidays just have never been your bag and you've just always had kind of a tough time. And I try to understand that. And the reason I have so much fun with this episode every year is because I love the holidays, even though, I won't lie to you and say that my holiday seasons in my life have been perfect, because nothing is. And there are always going to be some rough times that are going to pop up in your life, right? And what I like to do with this episode is just kind of push a lot of that to the side for at least however long we've been here, and just enjoy the festive tunes, the moments, the memories, and just trying to focus on happier things. Because just sitting in the sadness is not the move. It's not, like I say this with musicians all the time. Some of the best songs that you're going to hear, maybe not today, but in general, some of the best songs that are written come from a place of despair and come from a place of going through something bad. And the best piece of advice that we can all give as musicians I've talked about with musicians is you can't just let it sit there, right? You have to get it out. And I think that's why I wanted to use this space today, is if you have an issue and you can't afford a therapist, talk to me. I'll just listen. I don't know that I can give you decent advice. I could try. I've been through some stuff. I could try. But if you just need someone to hear you and to understand and to, well, try to understand, and just you need somebody to dump it on, 209-867-7638. Send me a text and just we'll work through it together. Because I know that holidays are rough for everyone. Maybe not everyone, but for a lot of people, for a lot of different reasons. And I just want you to know that we're all in this together. And I don't want anyone to have to deal with some nonsense by themselves. And so if I can help you in any way, even if that's just, hey, Pat, having a rough day, what's going on with you? Distract me. And I'll tell you about something on TV. I'll tell you, hey, I tried to go upstairs with some dessert, some cookies in my hand, and I dropped them because I'm a dope, make you laugh a little bit. Or, hey, I always forget to turn the heater off when it gets too warm, and then I sweat when I'm down here working, right? So maybe if you need some kind of distraction, or I don't know. I feel like it's my duty as someone with a platform to extend my hand a little bit and reach out and say, hey, listen, it might be rough, especially this year with all the nonsense politically and otherwise and morally and things like that. And holiday gatherings do change, and sometimes that's good, but sometimes also it's still tough to navigate, especially the first year it happens when you change your relationships in your life, and it could be rough. And so we kind of have to navigate that somehow. And if you need someone to kind of talk you through something, or just like, hey, I got this thing, I just need to tell someone that this thing happened or that I'm dealing with this, do it to me. You can text me anytime. You won't wake me up. My notifications, my sounds are always off. You won't wake me up. It'll be fine. If you don't want me to answer, you just want me to read it and take it in and just say, hey, I love you. You're doing great. Have a lovely day. You want to chat later, we can do that. Just let me know. All right. Again, it can be tough, especially this year. This time of year can be tough every year, but maybe especially this year. And I just want you to know that we're all in this together. I'm pulling for you. 209-867-7638. Send me a text. We'll chat. I'll get you through it. Okay? I'm here. However I can help, even if that's just being a set of ears or eyes to take in the information so it doesn't just sit in your brain. I'm here for you, and I hope you enjoy your eggnog and your cookies and your cakes and your pies and your whatever Christmas traditional foods you have. Or, you know what? Even if you don't do the Christmas stuff and you're just sitting at home eating Chinese food or eating, leftover whatevers, if you got a pot roast or something, whatever you got going on, I hope that you can find some solace in that. Well, never mind. I was going to make a really dark joke, and I'm not going to do that. But I just want you to know I'm here for you. All right? I can help however I can. I mean, I can't do much. I'm kind of limited. But if you just need somebody to talk to, I'm here. Let's do this. We can get through the holidays together, and then it's going to be dark in January and February. It's going to suck even worse. And then it'll be spring, and we can go watch baseball again. But until then, we need to lean on each other, and I am here for you to lean on me as I lean on something else, because I'm not a good person to lean on physically. So there we go. But there we go. That's it. That's all. Look, whatever you're doing this holiday season, have fun, be safe, don't be a dumbass. If somebody you know is being a dumbass, you can by all means call them a dumbass. And then, if they don't want to hang out with you anymore, that's fine. You don't want to hang out with dummies, right? That's stupid. Don't hang out with stupid people. Just go do something else. Go do something else. Come text me. Come hang out with us. I don't know if that can be arranged, but maybe we can. I don't know, man. But look, whatever you're doing, whether you're celebrating with family, friends, by yourself, if you're not celebrating at all, just remember, you're not really by yourself. We all got to kind of pull in and be in this together. We can all be in this space together, and we can all enjoy ourselves and have some fun. So let me know if I can help, and just to try to enjoy yourself. And next week, we'll review a movie, the worst movie I've ever seen. So we'll see if I like it still, or like it better as a 36-year-old man than I did as an 11-year-old kid watching it in the theater. So we'll do that for next week. But for today, that is all. Again, to everybody who lent me their tunes or gave me the okay to play their tunes, thank you very much. To everybody who answered the Christmas tradition question, thank you very much. To everybody who did reach out or will reach out during the holidays just to check in, I love you. Thank you very much, and we'll talk soon. This has been an 8 Boy in the production. Until next time, my friends, have fun, be safe, thank a veteran, wear your mask, wash your hands, get vaccinated and boosted when you can, tip your wait staff, and of course, Don't do anything I wouldn't do. We're not playing G-Love today, but go check them out at Philadelphonic.com. What we will do is say hello to our friends Much Better. We still need them to get a Thanksgiving song, by the way, as their holiday greeting album that they put out a couple of years ago. I put it together as one song, and we're going to play it to close out our holiday episode as we do. So thank you, my friends, Much Better, and thanks to all of you for listening. Happy holidays. I'm here if you need me. I'll talk to you soon. Go crap open a cold.
One lesson. Hi, this is Charlie Saxton from the band Much Better, wishing you and your family a happy holidays and a happy new year.
Hi, my name is Tim Joe from Much Better, and I want to wish you a happy Christmas and a Merry New Year.
Hi, this is Sean Quinn. Oh, erase that. Erase it. Erase it. I didn't sound sure of my name, and I want to wish you Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.